Also Water Safety Month, and we have a first responder live in studio sharing summer safety tips that you can't afford to miss.
Okay, well, we wanted to let you know this, and you may not, that May is Water Safety Month, and it's fitting because around here, May is already pool time.
Yes.
And we have Melanie here from Community Ambulance. We've talked about this before, the importance of being prepared around water.
Yeah.
We were just looking at the statistics that you've brought in.
Yeah.
We have way too many drownings and submersions.
So far, we've had 9 submersion incidents this month. That's more than one, sorry, this year.
This year.
That's more than one a month. In Clark County alone.
So when you say submersions, those aren't necessarily drownings, but kids
near
who are
drownings.
Near drownings.
Near drownings.
Okay.
So a lot of times a submersion incident is not considered a drowning unless it's fatal.
Okay.
So we've had 9 in Clark County already. 7 of those were under 4 years old. Oh. So way too many. You look at our statistics, every year the submersion incidents go up.
Okay.
The fatal drownings go up every year. Last year it was 10, the year before it was 9. So they're going up, and people need to be aware, you know, ABCDs of drowning prevention.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Adult supervision. You have to have a water watcher, somebody who's watching the kids at all times, not on a cell phone, not on a tablet, not distracted. Barriers, fences, make sure your doors lock if you have toddlers that are walking, with an alarm on the door. And also buddies.
That they can't reach.
Yeah, never swim alone. Yes. Always swim with a buddy. Classes, swim classes, CPR classes for parents. You know, kids need to have all of that stuff. And then devices, safety devices, life vests and whatnot. And also drains. Teach your kids to stay away from the drains at the bottom of the pool.
We just had a young boy,
an 8-year-old,
with an 8-year-old kid, not here, but
yeah, but he got sucked against the drain, and it took 8 minutes for a firefighter to get him off. So parents need to be aware of all this stuff. You can retrofit the drains. They have safety fittings now that can go on top of the older drains.
Okay.
All the new pools have them.
Okay.
And all the commercial pools are supposed to have them too.
Okay. When you see of these, hear of these incidents where we have kids going under the water, a lot of the time, most of the time, it's in backyard pools. Do you see a trend? Is it mostly people whose doors were unlocked, or people who didn't have a gate around, or is there?
It's just somebody's not watching. The most recent one, there was a family reunion. And there was 20 people in the backyard, and kids were swimming, and somebody didn't notice the child was at the bottom of the pool because other kids were swimming over on top of it. Oh. And an adult finally realized that that child was down there for a while, and they had to pull him out of the bottom of the pool.
Oh, that's so scary.
Even with people around, especially if you're busy, if you're drinking alcohol and playing games and stuff,
sometimes that could even be more distracting the more people you have, because everybody thinks that somebody's watching the kids.
Definitely. Yeah. So it's just something you have to be aware of. Adult supervision is the most important part.
Okay, we're running out of time, so I want to talk about boat safety, because that's another thing.
Boat safety, always wear a life jacket. In the state of Nevada, anybody under the age of 13 by law has to have a life vest on when they're on any type of watercraft, whether it's a paddleboard, kayak.
Under the age of 13.
Under the 13 and below.
Okay.
So it could be any kind of watercraft whatsoever, it doesn't matter. You also need to always, if you're going out on like a ski boat, bring communication, bring a cell phone in case you have an emergency. Prepare for anything, because the weather can change. Have a first aid kit, make sure you double check your gear on your boat, make sure you have everything you need.
Make sure you're gassed up.
Yes,
so
and then also leave your alcohol behind. The majority, like 80% of boating accidents are caused because alcohol is a factor. And anybody who's ever drowned at Lake Mead, pretty much, a lot of them were adults, and they did not have life jackets on.
And was alcohol involved?
A lot of the times, yeah. They jump off the boat to go swimming. You don't know what happens under the water, if they hit a rock or something.
Yeah.
And the majority of I would say 99% of the drownings out at Lake Mead, they did not have life vest on.
And they were adults.
And they were adults.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Really important stuff to keep in mind. And then I was reading this too, and I thought that this was really important to point out. Just because your kid, you recommend that you have your kids in swim lessons, but don't rely on that. No. Right?
A child can be swimming either in the pool or in the lake or the beach even, and they can become fatigued.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends, and you never know what happens underwater too. And it's a silent killer. They can't, once they get water in their lungs, they can't scream out for help.
So it can happen so quick and so quietly. Melanie, thank you for coming on. That's such an important thing.
Thank you for having me.
We don't have to report on any drownings, but usually every year we do. Okay, thank you so much. Stay safe out there, everybody. We'll be right back.